Thank you. Breaking news tonight. He is out. Republican Mark Harris says he will not be running in the new 9th District congressional election. Harris announced earlier this afternoon that he is dropping out of the race. The decision comes just days after he and the state called for a new election. Now, the new election comes after allegations of election fraud in the 9th congressional district. This is an ongoing investigation we have been following closely for you. Now, WBTV has unearthed important new information. The president of a Bladen County Get Out the Vote group with ties to the Democratic Party says he was tipped off about an investigation into voting irregularities before last year's election. Investigative reporter David Hodges joins us to tell us what he's learned. David?
Jamie, Horace Munn is the president of the Bladen County Improvement Association. He says he was tipped off about a coming investigation into a Republican political operative who worked for Mark Harris in last year's election. As a result, he tells me he instructed members of his organization to not promote absentee ballots, even though they had in the past.
Do you see him in this room?
It didn't take long during the 9th Congressional District hearings held by the North Carolina State Board of Elections for Horace Munn to get pushed into the spotlight.
That's the person you saw that would deliver requests to your office as you made copies. Yes, ma'am.
One of McRae Dallas's election workers, Lisa Britt, said she saw Munn at McRae Dallas office making copies of absentee ballot request forms. But Munn tells WBTV her testimony is a flat-out lie. In a phone conversation Monday night, Munn said that before the 2018 primary, he was tipped off that the North Carolina State Board of Elections would be investigating McRae Dallas and absentee ballot programs in Bladen County. Dallas was hired by Republican Mark Harris to run an absentee ballot operation and other get-out-the-vote efforts. Because of the tip, Munn said he told members of his organization, "We are not doing an absentee ballot program this year." He also said he called NCSBE Chief Investigator Joan Fleming before the election and said, "I know he's doing stuff illegally, and to keep my organization clean, we will not participate in an absentee ballot program." Munn said he hasn't dealt with McRae Dallas in years and feels that the board set him up to make it appear both Democrats and Republicans were violating election laws. He said investigators hauled me upstairs like a piece of meat just to point me out. While at least 3 people paid by the Improvement Association for Get Out the Vote efforts turned in more than 400 absentee ballot applications before the general election, Munn says they were acting as individuals and not representing his organization, and that they did not pay them for absentee ballot application efforts. Munn would not say who tipped him off about the NCSBE investigation. A spokesperson for the State Board of Elections declined to answer most of our questions, citing the ongoing criminal investigation, but in an email said State Board staff believes that the evidence presented in Raleigh last week will serve as a reminder that this agency will not tolerate efforts to defraud the electoral system in North Carolina. Our agency will support all prosecutorial efforts by the Wake County District Attorney. Maureen, back to you.